Thanks for joining me today. This practice is one that is really great to relieve stress, tension, tightness in your body, focusing in the hips, legs, spine, upper back, shoulders, where we all tend to hold a lot of tension and stress. So let's get started. Come to the front of your mat. So with your hands pressing together at your heart, you might think of an intention or a focus for your practice today. Take a nice full inhale and a slow exhale, letting it go. And then on your next inhale, reach your arms out and up. And exhale, bring your hands back to your heart. Always remember this is your practice. Listen to your body, listen to your breath. Again, inhale, reach your arms out and up. And then forward fold, a nice long spine. Drawing your belly in to protect the low back. You might have your hands on your mat or blocks. You might have your legs straight or a little bent. Breathe here. Lengthen through your spine. And then exhale, hinge from your hips. Press into the balls of your feet. And say hello to your hamstrings. On your next inhale, maybe using blocks under your hands, come up halfway. Bend your knees and step your right foot back. Might lower the back knee down, tucking the back toes, preparing for some cat-cow lunges. Inhale, look forward, cow lunge. Exhale, straightening your legs, cat lunge. You might drop the back heel. You might decide to lift the front toes. Inhale, come back to cow lunge. Back knee might hover or touch. Exhale, cat lunge. Inhale, cow lunge. Exhale, cat lunge. Inhale, come back. Release your back foot. Arms where they make sense to you, maybe reaching your arms up. Breathe here in Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Lengthen through your spine, lift your heart. Option to bend your elbows, open your heart with a ha. Inhale, reach your arms up. Set your blocks aside, hands on either side of your front foot. Bring that left knee back underneath. So you're in table and go through a few rounds of cat-cow here. Inhale, draw your heart forward. Exhale, cat. Inhale, arch into your cow. Exhale, look to your knees, draw your belly in for cat. Once more, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Tuck your toes and downward dog, lifting your hips up and back. Any variation here in down dog as well. So you might pedal your feet. And then come forward into a plank. Lower your knees. Release the toes, lower your hips. And inhale, cobra. And exhale, lower down. 2 more cobras as you inhale. Inhale, rise into cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, push up into table and come into puppy pose. Reaching your hands and arms forward. If your head doesn't quite make it to the mat, use a block under it. Great stretch for shoulders. You might have the block at the low setting or the medium setting if you're using it. Especially if your shoulders are tight, sometimes a block can be nice to support the head. And then come up out of puppy. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, come into another downward dog. And then lower your knees. Maybe bringing your blocks under your hands. Step your right foot forward. Tuck your back toes. Come into a runner's lunge. And make your way here whatever way makes sense to you. Maybe lowering the block under your left hand. And inhale, twist to your right. Find your variation. Breathe here. Exhale, lower that right hand down, adjust your blocks, step the back foot up about a foot, come into pyramid pose, maybe tipping those blocks onto the high setting, moving them slightly forward. Legs are mostly straight, the front knee might have a little bend in it. Lengthen through your spine. Drawing your belly in and taking that front right hip crease slightly back. Breathe here. Legs are strong, spine is long. On your next exhale, bend your front knee. Maybe tip your blocks forward again, maybe on the medium setting. Lift that back leg up. You might stay here in standing L position. Or if you would like, move your hands to your mat and maybe come into a standing splits. Just starting to get into the legs here, so you don't have to force anything. Should never force. And lower that lifted leg down. Forward fold as you exhale. You rotate your wrists a little bit if you would like. Lengthen through your spine. Bring your weight to the balls of your feet. One more breath here. And then inhale, halfway lift. Bend your knees, come into chair. And then rise up. Upward arms, Urdhva Hastasana. And then hands to your heart, coming back to Tadasana. So notice how you feel. And then we'll do the other side. So take an inhale, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Again, inhale, reach your arms out and up. And then forward fold, nice long spine, Uttanasana. Forward fold. Again, knees can be bent a little bit. Listen to your body. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend your knees and step your left foot back. Lower the back knee down. And again, maybe reach for your blocks. Tuck your back toes. Look forward. Cow lunge. Exhale, cat lunge. Find your variation. Inhale, cow lunge. Exhale, cat lunge. Inhale, cow lunge. Exhale, cat lunge. Inhale, come forward to that lunge and then lower your back knee down. Release the toes. Bring your shoulders up over your hips. And then arms forward and up. Anjaneyasana. Find your variation. And then on your exhale, bend your elbows like a lat pull with a ha sound. Imagine you're opening your heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands come down. Set your blocks aside. Shift your hips back. Bring your left knee in line with, or your right knee in line with your left. Coming back into table. And 3 cat-cows. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Move with your breath. One more. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Then tuck your toes, down dog as you exhale. Nice full breaths. Ground into your hands and feet as you lengthen through your spine, reaching your hips up and back and taking your heart in the direction of your toes, creating space around your neck and upper trapezius. And then inhale, come forward into a plank. Lower your knees, release your toes, lower all the way down. Rise into cobra on your inhale. Exhale, slowly lower. 2 more times. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up to table. And exhale, puppy. Find your variation. On your inhale, come up out of puppy, bringing your hands a little closer. Wrist crease just slightly in front of your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Down dog as your exhale. And then whatever way makes sense to you, lower the knees or just step your left foot forward. Coming into your runner's lunge. Legs are strong, spine long. And then maybe tipping that block to the low setting under your right hand. And inhale, twist to your left. Breathe here. On your exhale, lower that left hand down. Bring your blocks about the same height. Step your back foot up a foot and tip those blocks maybe forward and up a notch. Pyramid pose, Parshvottanasana. Legs are strong, spine is long. Press into your feet, feeling your legs activate and maybe hinging slightly from that front hip crease. You might bend that front knee a little bit. Listen to your body. On your next exhale, bend that left knee. Move your blocks forward, maybe onto the medium setting. Inhale, lift your right leg, standing L. You might stay here or lower your hands down, lengthening through your spine, coming into standing splits. Drawing that kneecap up, engaging your leg, lengthening through the spine, engaging both legs. And then exhale, lower that lifted leg down. Lengthen through your spine and then forward fold. Uttanasana. Any variation that works for you. Inhale, come up halfway. Hands to your shins. Exhale, chair. Weight to your heels. Hands might be out in front of you or at your heart. And then rise up. Maybe hands at your heart. Samastiti. Pressing your hands together if you feel lightheaded. Notice your breath. Setting your blocks to the long side of your mat. Come to a wide stance, feet about 3 feet wide and parallel. Hands onto your hips, getting ready for a wide leg forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Lengthen through your spine. Hands where they make sense to you. So activate your legs. Lengthen through your spine. Reaching energetically from the crown of your head away from your sacrum. And you might stay here with your hands just about under your shoulders. Or if it makes sense, you might stack your blocks. You might try 2 blocks on the tall setting to support your head. Or if your feet are a little wider and you have a little more flexibility, maybe you only need 1 block. Or maybe you stack your blocks a little differently. Find what works for you, but make sure that your hips stay in line with your ankles and your spine stays long. If you're deeper into the fold, you might be resting more of the top of the forehead on the block. If you're not as far into the pose, more of the just middle of your forehead might be on the block. So find what feels comfortable to you. Still use your hands to help support you and breathe here. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Engage your core as well as your legs. Keep pressing into your feet and focus on lengthening through your spine. The head should feel just supported on the block and not too heavy. You don't want the weight of your head pushing on the block. On your next inhale, come up halfway. Bring that block maybe on the low setting, just about under your nose, and place your left hand on the block. You can also just have your fingertips just about under your nose on the mat if you prefer. Make sure the block feels stable. And then inhale your right arm out to the right, keeping it in line with your upper back, and twist to your right. It's okay to drop that left hip slightly. Breathe here. Exhale, slowly lower that right hand down. Replace it where your left hand was. And inhale, twist to your left. You might notice if you twist further one direction or the other. I know I do. Keeping that left arm in line with your upper back, and notice where you feel this twist. And exhale, slowly lower that lifted arm down. Come back to center. If you'd like, you can come deeper into the pose one more time if that feels good. And then inhale, come up just halfway. So we're going to come down onto the mat from here. So you might heel toe your feet in a little closer. Lower down onto one knee and then the other, and come to a seat. Notice how you feel. And then bring your legs out in front of you. Bend your right knee. Cross your right foot over your left leg. For a seated twist, keep your left leg active. Right hand goes behind you for support. Focus on lengthening through your spine. Left hand to the outside of that right knee or leg. Lengthen as you inhale and then exhale, twist to your right. Invite that sense of openness across your heart. And then exhale, unwind. Straightening that right leg out. Pause for a moment. And then other side. Bend your left knee. Cross your left foot over your right thigh, keeping that right leg active, toes to the sky. Left hand goes behind you for support. Right hand to the outer left leg. Lengthen as you inhale. Exhale, twist to your left. Breathe here. On your next inhale, unwind and straighten that left leg out. Pause for a moment. And then we're coming into Janu Shirsasana, head to the knee pose. But really it's head beyond the knee. So bend your left leg, bringing your left foot close to the inner right thigh and hip. Option for your strap. You may decide you want it, you may decide you don't. If your left knee complains, you might place a blanket under it for support. Turn towards your straight right leg and start to hinge from your hips. You might leave your hands on either side of your right leg and just be here. Or you can take your strap and place the strap around the ball of that foot, helping to keep that spine long. Shoulders are back, and as you hinge from your hips, you can bend the arms, drawing your heart in the direction of your toes. This sometimes can be sort of awkward or uncomfortable in the hands, but it's great to keep the position and alignment. So if your hands get tired, you can always adjust and just do another variation. You can also have your hands on your lower leg or foot. To hinge deeper, bring your belly closer to your thigh. And think of taking your nose to the toes instead of your knee, or the crown of your head towards the toes. A couple more breaths here. And again, you might be more upright. You might just have your hands on either side of your leg. Slowly start to make your way back upright. Pause. And then we'll switch sides. Straighten your left leg. Bring your right foot near the inner thigh. And it might be closer to your hip or your knee, whichever feels best. And again, if this bent knee complains, you can use support. My right leg likes a little support there. Turning to face that straight left leg. Lengthen through your spine and then hinge from your hips. Again, hands might be on either side of that leg, or option to use your strap. Sometimes using the strap helps you find that action of hinging from your hips a little better too, because you can keep your spine long, engaging the upper back and shoulder girdle, keeping those shoulders back instead of letting them come forward. So we don't want to round the spine like this. We want to draw the heart towards the toes. Think of taking your belly to your thighs and your heart to your toes. And then you can either stay here holding the strap or release the strap and bring your hands where they make sense to you. One side might feel different than the other. Just make sure that bent knee is okay, that it's not complaining. Lengthen through your spine as you inhale. Exhale, think of just softening into the shape. Avoid rounding the spine. It's not about getting your nose to the knee or to the shin. One day it might get there, but it's not about how far you go. It's who you are when you get there. So listen to your body. Honor what your body is telling you. No pose is worth getting injured over. Nice long inhale. Slow exhale. Let it go. And then slowly make your way back upright and pause. Set aside any props you might have been using. Straighten that bent leg. Pause for a moment. You can just stay here in the Dandasana, or you could hinge forward and come into Paschimottanasana. You might just be here with your hands on either side of your lower legs. Lengthen through your spine, hinging from your hip crease. Similar to the pose we were just in, but both legs are straight. Lengthening through your spine, think of taking your heart or your nose towards your toes. If you have any low back issues, keep that spine long. Any variation of your hands. Some of you might be able to hold your feet. You can also use the strap here, like we did with Janu Shirsasana. Sometimes this is really nice to get the proper alignment. And can have that engagement in the arms as well as the legs and core and upper back and shoulder girdle. If you don't have any low back issues, once you've gone as far forward as feels appropriate to you, you might soften into the shoulders and upper back. Avoid letting your head hang though. Keep your neck neutral. This pose is great to do at the end of the day. Holding it for a couple minutes will really help increase and deepen your flexibility. This was one of the first poses I did in yoga when I was in my teens. And after practicing it daily, each evening, holding it, beginning probably about a minute and then working up to 5 minutes over a period of several weeks, I noticed my flexibility greatly improve. When we get older, it takes longer. So just be mindful, but you can deepen your flexibility. It takes patience without forcing, and it's sort of like you're just releasing into gravity to invite the deepening of the pose. So instead of forcing yourself to go deeper, it's like you're releasing tension and tightness to make more space to come deeper into the pose. Watch your breath. Forward folds can be very calming to the nervous system and can be great stress relievers. Slowly on your next inhale, make your way back up. Pause. Notice sensation. Make sure you have a block handy. Bend your knees and lay down onto your back. Pause in constructive rest. And then with your feet about hip distance apart, knees bent, press into your feet, lift your hips, place that block right under your hips and sacrum, so it should feel supportive. Pause here. You can either stay here in supported bridge with the block on the low, or if you prefer, medium setting, or for a little more action, keep your feet about hip distance apart and heels just about under your knees. Press into your feet to lift your hips and lengthen your tailbone towards your lower legs. Palms might be up, lengthening out of your low back. You might bend the arms, fingertips to the sky, pressing into your upper arms near your elbows. And when you're ready, lower your hips back to the block, relax your arms, release effort. Option, straighten one leg up, then the other. Come into legs up the invisible wall. Find your variation. Notice sensation. Notice your breath. And then thoughtfully bend your knees. Lower one foot and then the other. And then press into your feet, lift your hips, remove the block. Draw one knee towards your chest, then the other, knees towards each armpit. Holding your knees with your hands, toes close together. Stretching out the low back. If you prefer, you can come into a happy baby or whatever other pose your body is wanting. And then release. Straighten one leg out, then the other, and come into your Shavasana. You might place a blanket over your hips, or under your head, or over your whole body to stay comfortable. Invite your whole body to relax and release. Appreciate all the work you did here. Appreciating everything your body is able to do. Relax your legs. Relax and release your hips. Relax your whole back. Visualizing space between each vertebrae. Soften your shoulders and arms. Soften your belly. Soften the area around your heart. Let your head be heavy and relax your jaw. Soften all the muscles in your face, especially around your eyes, and let go. Gently bring your awareness back to being on your mat. Notice your body, notice your breath, and observe your mind. When you feel ready, begin to make small movements, maybe starting to wiggle your fingers or toes, maybe rotate your wrists or ankles. And then thoughtfully bend one knee and then the other and make a thoughtful transition over onto your right side or whichever side you prefer. Support your head with your bottom arm or a prop. And then thoughtfully press your way back up to a comfortable seat. And with appreciation for your efforts and your focus, bring your hands together at your heart in Anjali Mudra. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this practice to de-stress. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and feel free to share this with friends, family, anyone else you think might enjoy and benefit from this practice. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the mats.